Hi everybody, my name is Dmitro. I'm a tutor of English and specifically I focus on preparation to Duolingo, IELTS, TOEFL online. Now let's do one text borrowed from Duolingo Read and Complete task. You know, it's a real text, so it means that just some time ago somebody was struggling with it on the real Duolingo, which is very valuable, I think, because you know it's not imaginable something or imaginative, it's just a real thing. So let's do it together. I think it's more or less of a hard level, though not extremely, but you know, to a certain degree. I didn't go deeply into the details, so we will do it together. I ask you guys to try to get ahead of me, so while I'm like voicing here my logic and algorithms, you try to guess these words by yourself prior to my decisions. Okay, and so the more real things you do, the better you will feel on the real test. If you need assistance in your preparation to Duolingo, IELTS, TOEFL, just drop me a line. I always place all my contact details on the screen and in the description. I have also developed a beautiful self-preparation video course for Duolingo. It includes 91 lessons of about 45 to 50 minutes each, and it gives you an opportunity to prepare by yourselves on your own within 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, depending on the situation, depending on how much free time you have. It allows you to get 120 or even more on your own. Okay friends, so let's start. We will read and decide. Test-driven development offers more than just simple validation of correctness, but can also drive the design of a program. When I start reading this, I see at once that it will be about IT, because we have test-driven development. It's pure IT, computers, programming, testing, and so on and so on. Software. A lot of guys hate this topic, especially maybe girls, because they don't know the terminology, they don't know the vocabulary. We will see, maybe it's not so awful as it seems. Okay, so we will not analyze this. By the way, my friends, you remember that very often, not always but often, Duolingo places some interesting words which we may not know here. They offer them here or here. Not always, but. So, just in case, let's look through the last sentence. This benefit is complemented to design by contrast, as it approaches code through test cases rather than through mathematical assertions or preconceptions. Okay, a lot of serious words, but believe me, it's not a big deal. So, now, I'm proceeding to this first sentence. First of all, I should define its boundaries. You see, this first sentence is long. I highly recommend that you don't do bye folk and now you start typing. Please try to understand the immediate environment, the context, I'm sorry. So like this, you see, if you're working with this word, for example, try please to look 3 or 4 or 5 words to the left, here in the middle, and 5 words to the right, so that probably you will guess some word here. It will help you to unravel this one. Never just stick the nose into this, not looking on the left and on the right. It's a surefire way to kill all your success here, to choke yourself. Okay, by foca, who knows, on the test, when we have T and 3 letters, in 99% of cases it's the. Not always, but article the. On the test, K, who knows, first, comma, 1, ma, mu, imagine. You understand, my friends, that is must imagine, yeah, no comments, because one must imagine who, her, how, his, the function. If we have function, of course, it will be something about function, functioning, functionality. It's very long, so I think it's functionality, because only one word here. Functionality. The functionality will be used, will be used. It would be very surprising if you put here by, will by used. No. Will be used, and here we have by clients. In, again, there, in the first in the first comma, the test KK. Okay, full stop. You see, my friend, it's a very long one. So, by doing something on the test, one must imagine. One must imagine the subject and the predicate. This is the phrase, yes. Obviously, it's a participial phrase, like doing something. For example, walking along the street, comma, you must look on the left and on the right, something like that. Here they place by. We can drop it, by the way. Here, I think that we shouldn't, but if there was no this by, the meaning of the sentence would not change greatly. So by doing what? Focusing. By focusing on the test something first, one must imagine, then he's her. You know, my friend, he's her. Why he's her? Imagine he's there. No, impossible. How? Yes, why not? Yeah. One must imagine how the functionality will be used by clients. Okay, I think it sounds great. And how about this KKK? Yeah. If you're far from the computer industry, you know, you may get stuck. You may get thrown for a loop by this. Or you remember I told you that sometimes, not always, but sometimes Duolingo helps us a little by placing these, you see, cases. Why not trying? Yeah. By focusing on the test cases first. You know, it makes sense. Test cases. Some guys test the computer software. You know, they're called testers. So there are manual testers like programmers, developers, testers, and automatic testers. But anyway, on the test cases first, one must imagine, okay, how the functionality will be used by clients. Makes complete beautiful sense. So in the first, what? This is a phrase, a static phrase. In the first case, I know it because I have some experience. If you don't know it, play just a little bit, like placing here some different words. If you cannot, for example, remember that it's case, then we have two options. Either leave them blank, or if you can remember something, first cars, maybe it's ridiculous, but in the first cars, you know, my friend, the majority of guys said that it's better to place here cars than nothing. With the exception of a case that when, for example, you don't know what to type and you just say like this. No, never do that, because you will be punished for this. You indicate, you ostentatiously declare that you don't know what to type. No, never. If cars, yes, it's stupid, but who knows, maybe you were excited and you were thinking about cars, you will lose points, but not, you know, half of the amount. If you place here some stupidity, it will be bad. Never do that. Then better leave it blank. So, will be used by clients in the first what? In the first case, like in the first turn. Firstly, you know, in the first case, the test, and again, you know, why not? Test cases. You may say, oh my God, in the first case, the test case is yes. I'm sure this is placed here on purpose. I mean, they took such a text where you will wonder why cases, because this is a phrase, and this is just test cases. Okay. But who knows, you know. So the prog, you understand, anything about programming, development. So is cons with, you know, concerned, I think, with. When somebody is worried about, busy with, thinking about, it means a human, mostly. Yeah? So here we have a noun and a human. So what profession refers to this programmer? You know, double M-E-R. I mean, not the programming. Because the programming, firstly, it doesn't fit, yes, and secondly, the programming is concerned with, no. Usually people are concerned with something, not processes are concerned. So if the programmer is concerned, my Latin manner, I always pronounce to myself when I'm typing concern, or as like concerned, obligatory. When you're in a hurry, you can make a lot of mistakes, even in words which you know. So try please to pronounce like in any convenient manner to yourself. So the programmer is concerned with what? With, you understand, with the interface, the implement. Implement is a serious long word. If you know it, you will put it at once, because if you don't know it, you will never put it. So then leave it blank, because I don't think that you will never do like this. So implement, it's a root of implementation. Implement, you know, implement, in this case implementation, it's like utilize, deploy, implement, what else, resort to something like that, depending on the context, implementation, like the usage of something, of no, deployment of the software, like when we start using the software. Yes, then we have here what we have here, it's called the adverb before. I think it's logical, my friend, with before the implementation. Okay, before the implementation. So let's check. Maybe I've done a mistake. No, I didn't do any mistake, luckily. The tutor tackled this task. Okay, and how about you, my friend? So what do you think? Was it difficult for you or not difficult, to deal with it? If it's easy, it's a good news. I think you can think about 100, even like 20 or more for Duolingo Read and Select. If it was extremely difficult, then for now I think we should expect more of 90 or lower. Of course, it makes sense to do as many real tasks as possible during our online lessons. I always use this marvelous resource at which I borrow these texts, and in my video courses, because I have several, I always use such. So you're working with the real, authentic material, Duolingo material, not an imaginary somebody's conjured creation. That's why, if you want to feel this real thing, contact me. If we work together, I will present you this link. So my friends, I wish you success, and see you in our next lesson.